the most awesome story of all those great ones that you share in that book is the one with you and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
I mean that's I mean you can make a movie about that story. So I haven't told my listeners today anything about your book. So could you sort of like tell that Quentin Tarantino story for the audience, because this one's a badass.
Yeah, well, like to make it a short story, it's kind of like it was a typical day in Stockholm, and we were recording our album, and we had with Backyard Babies. I can't remember what album it was, but I remember it was a terrible day at the studio. We didn't get anything done. So I was in a bad mood and trying to get into a better mood. So I went down, took a taxi to a bar after our session was, and then it was just like, it was crazy. And I was like, I recognized that guy in the corner, and he was actually Quentin Tarantino. And he was there in disguise. Well, not disguise, he was there, but I was like, I recognize you. And he started to talk, and then he said that, he does that. He travels around the world when he's writing scripts by himself, totally by himself, just to, I don't know, to just get impressions or whatever, So he was out on the bar around, and he started to buy me shots, and we were drinking, and then we headed to another bar, and then we headed to another bar, and then we ended up at a bar that was open till 5 a.m. And then there was a guy that wanted to have a after show party, so he threw me and Quentin into a taxi with him and another guy, and he calls his girlfriend. I didn't know that this guy was a massive Quentin Tarantino fan and also a massive Backyard Babies fan. So he calls his girlfriend up. These are young people. This was a student apartment outside of Stockholm. So he calls her up and said, "Hey, you got to get that, bagging box of wine opened and all our liquor we have, because I'm coming home with Dregen and Quentin Tarantino." And she just like clicks. She hangs up because
nobody comes home drunk in the.
No, he was
morning.
calling from the taxi, preparing for the party, and she thought that he was on drugs or something, And then, he called up again, and it's true, But then when we walk into his apartment, it's actually like a really small room apartment, typical Ikea things, and not. And then it was actually 2 posters framed, and it was one Backyard Babies poster of "Making Enemies Is Good," that album, and then it was one Pulp Fiction movie poster.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend was just like, when we walked in there, it was.
Asenne on rock. Radio Rock.